BOTH.com, trusted by bowlers around the world since 2004. By Lightning Strikes Bowl, home of Bowler's Mart Pro Shop. By Platinum Ford, drive the difference. By Fire Lake Bowling Center, 24 state-of-the-art lanes. By True Grit Coatings, drive on our passion. By Road to Grip, king of them all. By 900 Global, striking worldwide.
Good morning and welcome back to the Beef and Barnzy Show. This one's going to be a little different because it's going to be, well, Barnzy Squared. Barnzy and Barnzy, I am joined by the better version, 2.0, 3.0. I'm not sure which one we're calling it now, but how are you today, young Obi-Wan?
What's going on?
Going on. So we got a chance to go to the PBA League finals for the first time. And I guess we can wait for a few more guys to get in here, but,
Good morning.
Huh?
Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, we'll let them fill in just a little bit along the way. There we go. Get that. Share this thing out a little bit. Yeah, so Dan already bowled a 4-game tournament. He's leading after 3. Thumb swell between games, making jump 1 and 2, miss the back-to-back single pins, adjusting less by 18. Make your spares, friends.
Oh, take your thumb out. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's going to be that kind of day. Adam, we saw you up there. Oh, as well, impeccably dressed as usual. Jerseys and etc. So, any advice for rolling on string pins? Have a regional on them next week.
Flush is better.
Yeah, I've only watched the certified ones, so I don't think I've actually bowled on any of the other ones yet. But yeah, there's going to be less bird dogs for sure. So
straighter angles is usually better on string pins.
Yeah. Why?
It doesn't like getting them behind it.
6-pin doesn't kick out of the gutter better.
No.
Congratulations.
Very nice.
First 700. I tried taking the thumb out and going to it a couple times. I don't think I broke on her doing that. It's hard. Agreed. That's a young man's game doing that. For sure. Morning, gents. Ryan, Sublime Focus looks stupidly strong for a sim. What would you opt using the Sublime Focus versus like a gem on the fresh? Unless you're bowling on a ton of patterns, that's probably strong enough.
Maybe. Not for me, but probably most people.
Yeah, I mean, if
for the house, yeah, absolutely.
Keep it freshened up a little bit with 2000s. It's plenty. Plenty for
morning. Donnie's awake.
Don is awake. Congratulations to him. He won a regional last weekend.
No way.
That's 2 in about 3 weeks.
Somebody's got the hot hand.
Both the doubles and over-under with a blind. I mean, he went in blind with his partner. Didn't know him, basically. Wins.
Put on the backpack.
Yeah.
Called it a day.
What he does. No urethane.
What's it? Congrats, Donnie. That's funny.
So you got your first PBA League experience last week.
Yep.
What surprised you? What disappointed you?
Oh, man. What do we say here? Oh. I kind of went with the negative. I don't want to be negative.
Well, I mean, you have I think everybody, because TV and real life are 2 different things. Kind of what you see there and what you think it's going to be versus what was different from what
the place is way bigger than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be way more like packed, and everyone's going to be like on top of the lane, like. But Actually
That's what
pretty.
it looks like on the show.
That's what it looks like going on TV. So
Now on the other side, it was like
the other side is packed. Yeah.
because the ceilings are like 12-foot ceilings, which
Yeah.
is absurdly low for a bowling center.
But yeah, it's great atmosphere. There's a lot of shit talking going on. Kind of cool.
Know about Wes's plans? I had no idea. That seemed to happen.
Just talking to Prather last night. Apparently got fairly emotional after everyone left. So
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So it was his actual retirement.
I think just from the PBA League, but
Yeah.
they can't go full season anymore. So something like that.
He said that area's a little sketchy. The bowling center's fine.
Yeah, bowling center's good. Just like 2 blocks down.
Yeah, I mean, there's a soup kitchen there. It's 3 meals a day. So, rumor had it from some locals that other places basically give their homeless a bus ticket to come hang out there. So there's some interesting individuals walking around, but nobody ever gave anybody any issues that I'm aware of. And in the 10 years we've been going there, I'm not aware of anybody giving any issues or break-ins or anything else. I mean, we've had worse issues in other areas. Ryan looks like he's still gaming.
I'm actually working at McDonald's. How can I take your order?
Now, this is the guy who would know what the fun is. Richie Allen. It's fun when they chant your name.
That dude's a monster.
Yes. Well, Scoach, I appreciate it. Good morning, guys. I need to put you back in the anchor spot for the PBA League.
I agree. Nah, I mean Pecky was good.
Packy was good. And Packy, the left there's very chummy.
Yeah.
I was surprised more people didn't play out. I didn't think they were that hard playing out. So,
Oh, like regular tour, furthest left wins.
Maybe you're taking Adam's order. McDonald's getting his early lunch.
Oh no.
Get to spend a little time with Adam this week. So, what is it loud as you thought, or louder, or not?
I mean, it was really loud when Portland bowled, but other than that, it was just kind of loud when like the crowd favorites bowled, but it wasn't crazy loud, I thought.
It is a little different because that side is literally 3 floors high. So you have 40-foot ceilings in there. It's almost like bowling in well, if you bowled nationals, I guess. Yeah, even Reno or whatever. It's not quite as tall as Reno, but it's as tall as South Point.
Yeah.
I mean, the ceilings are way up there on that side that we do it now. And so it does echo around a little bit. It gets lost in the comfiness. That's
Kind of close to a college event, just a lot of noise, other than the fact that it's actually clear noise. But it wasn't that like it's a clear sound, like someone's chanting their name or versus college.
They do get together.
They actually weren't as together as I thought they were going to be, but I guess there was a lot of family friends there. They said.
Yeah, we had a lot of. Well, yeah, that was in a basketball arena.
Yeah.
Turns out 3,500 people will make up for a big space. We definitely didn't have that. It has been a turnover. We had that kind of same group for 5 or 6 years, and then the last couple of years, there's actually been a lot of new people have come and they've jumped in. And the organic thing is it's cool because that means it's going to keep going forward. It's now a thing that just the people there do. It's not just one group that was leading it and that group goes away and nobody does it anymore. Couple of questions. Sorry. Mitchell says, are all exempt players eligible to be drafted for the league? Yes.
Available.
Yeah.
Great team guy. Big role guy. Do my job and I do it well. I'm kidding.
Well, and Adam asked, do you think you get picked for the PBA League?
I hope so. We'll see what happens though. I'm not sure. There's a lot of people that gonna go back into the pool. So
Yeah, one report was that there's actually 17 guys on teams this year that are not exempt, which means if they did it like it did last year, the only round those players are eligible is the 6th round. So only 8 of those 17 will be back, which means 9 new guys at least. And I mean, that's 20% of the league, basically.
Yeah.
So the other part of that question, is it top? No, it's not points. I mean, it sort of is, but you have so top 55 plus anyone who was on a team last year.
Yeah.
And so that group that was on a team but not exempt is only eligible in round 6. There's going to be 2 rounds of new players plus. So, what are some sponsors you wish that would sponsor the PBA?
Nike,
Yeah.
Adidas, those guys, big sponsors. Ferrari, Lamborghini,
Just curious, are you allowed to turn down a draft question as an epic for the PBA League? I don't know what that means. Follow that up.
That one needs some clarification.
Yep.
He's a little. Oh, you're gonna tone it down.
Huh?
Huh? Sorry, what?
Man, I missed you.
I know.
Do you see it possible having the Ion Pro Max and XL in the back? Having the Ion at the top and the XL behind it.
It definitely worked.
Yeah, those two are actually pretty far apart. Pro Max is in that reality gem.
It's not a Pro Max, just a Max.
It is actually not an Ion Pro Max. Despite my video, Ion Max and Ion Pro.
Yeah.
Pro Max is another
Anyways,
made up name, like the reality strike.
Yeah, that was a good one. I like that one.
But the Ion Max is, those two are pretty significant steps down off each other. Some people use the XL as a middle ball. Some are using it as that heavy angular type ball. But yeah, so definitely complimentary. Oh, okay. Here's the follow up. If you get picked for a team, you can't do it from some reason, you're allowed to turn it down. Yeah, but not to go to a different team. It just means you won't be in the league that year. Santu told everybody up front that his knee was he didn't know if he was going to bowl this year or not. And so he was very upfront about it. And actually didn't get drafted, which I thought he would, because kind of at the time when the draft happened, you're like, well, he might miss a few weeks at the beginning of the season. Now, the flip side of that was Sherman, who'd had hip surgery, didn't really tell anybody what was going on, and then wasn't really able to bowl until the last few events of the year. And then once he was the same guy he was before. He's really good. But
I'm not. I'm going up to Swiss Trios in Wichita. Both Spencer and Bana.
Yeah, there is a good tournament in El Paso, and we heard about it a while back, but there's a PBA 50 regional, which eliminates me from being able to.
Because you have to bowl every stop.
Elsewhere. And El Paso's 12 hours away. But, yeah, which Swiss tournament's been around for a long time. Who's been my favorite teammate to bowl with? Tommy's been a lot of fun to bowl with. Tommy and Bill, we had that run there for a while. But Tommy was the guy I really liked bowling with. Meek and I had a lot of luck together in the league and other things, but didn't get to bowl together nearly as much.
See Tina's comment? Better shut that out right now.
What's in? Tina, on our way home from Corpus, can we get a happy birthday shout out for our mini beef stew?
Can we get a happy birthday mini beef stew going in chat?
For Peyton? Oh, wait. I mean Brady. Sorry. Get confused. Spencer and Bono, they must be new.
Yeah,
Yeah, who are those guys?
some rookies, you know.
Yeah, how it's changed. When they took it on, they were taking you on.
There's some young college guys.
Yeah. Uh, well, I hope the vacation in Corpus was great. That's one good reason to not be at the league anyway. But yeah, there's some choice. There's some teams that have some choices. We actually don't even know what the rules will be next year. If it's keep 2, keep 3, keep 4, which I can't see that happening. But keep 2 or 3. You know, who knows? Who knows? Let's see. Would the Summit Ascent be a good replacement for the OG Exponent? Stronger than the Exponent for sure. The Ion Pro is probably closer to a replacement for the Exponent, even though it's a little asymmetrical. Also, a kind of a lower middle from a differential standpoint, from a player standpoint. Fits in a Summit Ascent, bigger core, similar cover, probably similar-ish cover. So, but it's going to be stronger still for sure. Happy birthday, Mini Beef Stew. Happy birthday, Little Beef. Happy birthday, Mini Beef. Mini Beef. Happy birthday. What we got? Benchmark balls. What do you got?
Sublime Focus. What is this? The Ion Max. What else have I been throwing? I haven't bowled in a minute. It feels like I haven't bowled in like a week, so I don't remember.
Attention Star has
Oh yeah, the Attention Stars worked its way. What else? I'm trying to think of the non-new stuff.
Yeah, you've been working the new balls into your lineup.
Yeah.
Still like his Zen Gold.
Zen Gold's still good. Yep, that's at the bottom. Awesome Idol. Very nice.
Yeah, it's funny because his, I mean, your rev rate's quite higher than mine, but you're actually a lot like Tommy in that you're able to get it pretty far down the lane anytime you want, and so your bottom end balls aren't really that low.
Yeah.
Like
Max is not a benchmark. Sorry.
2 or 3 hustles. What's that?
Someone said Max is a benchmark. Did not mean to say that.
No, it's just he's doing more like a core setup of balls. He doesn't get to use the Max that much yet.
Yeah.
What do you think about putting Surface on my Absolute Power or the Effect? No, can't say much about the Effect. I don't know, but the Absolute Power, yeah, for sure. There's a lot of people that use it that way. That's how I used it too. Smooth, blendy.
2,000. That was really good. Right, I need to order another one of those.
Absolute Power?
Oh.
Probably sooner than later.
Probably.
When are they releasing the schedule for this coming season? Yeah, well, the deal is Fox has until October. I mean, I don't know. I shouldn't speak out of turn, but the last couple of years we have not gotten the dates from Fox until October. And so then you have to call and organize 15 different venues and get their schedules on play, and then fit them in together and then make the schedule make sense, hopefully, so it's not like the PBA 50 and going from coast to coast and driving 10,000 miles in 3 months. So it is actually a pretty huge undertaking. I do think we have a really good core of great hosts right now. And we have some hosts that have been really great that didn't fit in this year that, depending on where it all falls, might get back in the mix. But that being said, I mean, it's at least a month to put it together once you finally get dates. So I wouldn't expect anything until at least November. What do we got? What's that? Yeah, well, a little Dapper Dan.
Is that dapper for you?
I don't know. Yeah. Hair balm, right? Something. Pomade. That's what it is. Kristen Rye's a harsh reality. Pearl made any of your bags.
Yeah, it's close. I still prefer to throw the like solid versions to see the mid lane a little better. I think for me, ones with a little more surface. So I might need to touch it with some surface and work its way into the bag. But I really like it as it is for the house shot. So I kind of just leave it as it is and use it on the house shot quite a bit. Seems to blend them out pretty well.
Yeah. I've used the harsh a little, but not a lot. It's shiny. The cover's strong. For me, it's a touch early. I think you have to be a little more speed dominant, somebody with more rotation. But the players that do like it are on that end, and then it's pretty good because it does pick up pretty much for a shiny ball. It's going to pick up. No problem there. Random and late question. If the Masters either hit 5960, where the front panel had a hole you could see through. I don't think there was a hole you could see through. Pretty tough to be that way with synthetics.
I mean, a lot to shut out, so I'm sure they were saying some choice words.
Well, I was next to Packy and Stouffer. So I was next to you, Mitch. Yeah, I mean, Packy certainly was struggling. He was on the grind. It's ironic that some of the things that impress you about different players, obviously he can strike a ton. Been on the league team with him in that, but watching him try as many things as he tried in that 15 games, where I've seen a lot of other lefties kind of just mail it in when there are one or two things that they like to do didn't work. It was impressive. And Stouffer put a move on the burn. He shot a monster block. So I don't remember which block you hit it. I think we hit it the next day.
I didn't hit it.
I think it's one of those weird pairs because there's a lot of them at Sunset Station that have some, the front's pretty depressed in the front there, which makes everything feel like it hooks a lot. What do we got? There should be a PBA event at the stadium. Is that the Reno Stadium, the South Point? So.
The Cowboy Stadium.
Well, your mom has the 3-game record there.
Yep.
So. Bridget said looks nice. Yeah, well. Hair's not for everyone.
Oh, boy. Shots fired.
Yeah, it's not really a shot.
No.
If I was as good looking as those guys were without hair, I'd probably just go without it. Be done.
I'm just instigating. Relax.
Naturally.
Employment when I'm not on tour. I hope not. McDonald's. Yeah. Can't you tell?
Yeah. He's on the male OnlyFans plan, which is
all right.
Streaming. It's streaming games.
As Tristan would say, Barnzy leaked. That's Cam. That's Do I Play Games With. He said kiss.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so Reno, yeah, I mean, we probably should have an event there. I believe they're going to have Team USA trials are there this year. So, but yeah, let me clear that. I meant streaming games on Twitch and on whatever else they stream on.
Yeah, streaming on Twitch.
He's been playing with Prather lately, among others. So, yep. Where do they follow you on that?
Twitch.tv /PBA Barnzy. That's where you can find me.
Sounds easy. All right.
Twitch.tv /PBA Barnzy. Pretty easy.
Okay.
Okay, anyways.
Yeah. Hey, how's the Bone Center coming along? The one on his property. Speaking of the rich and famous. So, what was your takeaway? What was your the coolest moment of the PBA League?
Coolest moment of PBA League. West throwing the last shot was pretty cool. I thought it was kind of cool how everyone stopped for a minute. That was pretty cool. There's
Somebody who's known for a long time.
Andrew Anderson's doubles were, those were pretty sick moments, I think. The crowd didn't go as crazy as I thought they would, but that's because they're rooting for their home team. So
yeah, that's true. That is the one thing that's changed from early on.
Yeah.
The first 5-6 years when they didn't have their own team and they cheered for everybody. When they have Portland there, and Portland's made the last 5 finals. So once you get to the finals, it's really loud, but it is finally a home team.
Yeah.
I don't know that adrenaline affects bowling the same way it affects, Yeah, Richie was talking about your hair, not mine.
Good looks. Good looks.
A vote for coolest moment was AA telling him I'm the MVP.
I'm a high roller. I'm the MVP. What he said.
Is West going to retire after this or something? What was the last? It appeared I couldn't listen to the broadcast, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But it appeared that he's retiring from the league anyway. And so it was going to be tricky if they use the same rules. Wes and Arturo were both eligible in that last round, which means only one of them could get picked by them. But speaking of one of the champs,
although,
yeah, and this is a fair question, yeah, because since Matt's been part of the league, there's always been a home team, and I would say yes, there would be because they still serve liquor there, but they would spend more time researching some of the other players. And that was some of the things you saw is that they didn't know some of the new guys very well. They didn't have nicknames for them yet. They hadn't bowled pro-ams with them yet. Some of the stuff organically that happened before. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think. Richie, I'm about to rock a headband with the Baldy throwback style.
I think that style is sick. Andrew was dog.
Andrew, I mean, we've seen him on tour for a while, but that was one of the easiest calls at MVP. The end of that, he basically won, and it's not how it works because there's a lot. But the first game they got beat pretty handily. The second game, he doubles to win. The third game, he has to have the first strike to guarantee a tie, then doubles to win. And then, I mean, it was 3-0. If he doesn't strike the first one in the 10th. Now, left lane, he did have pretty wire, but the right lane, he had to throw the first strike in the 10th. He got 5 in the 5th. I know one other guy did that. It's not that easy to throw a strike when your last one didn't hit the headpin.
No.
You got to make one move. 4 guys have bowled in between. Yeah, I mean, it's stud. So.
Yeah. No, that was perfect.
On that one.
Good TV, bro.
It was. The stare. I don't know about. You definitely would have got a flag in the NFL. And a fine, I guess.
Not like he did what's his name, where he's shooting in the sky,
Richie should only be allowed to bowl in the headband. Bring back the Roy Munson look. Us viewers loved it. There you go. Yeah, it's not quite so cutthroat as. Well, I guess the NBA you can't do that one anymore either, right?
Who knows? I mean, they still do the Mikal Bridges where he points his 3 fingers. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Low key gun, whatever.
Yeah.
Do they do NIL deals for college bowlers? No, they don't as of yet.
They do for the NCAA girls.
But there's still a funny spot. Like
they do it for the girls.
Like Giovanna won the
Gianna.
I guess that's taped or something, right? So she gets smart money for being in the LBC, but apparently they don't get to keep. They can't just keep the money. So I believe that's one of the goals that the people in NCAA are working on. Obviously, on the men's side, it's club sport per se. So guys make money. They bowl everywhere. I paid my way through school by bowling back then.
Yeah.
What was your major at? Well,
Bowling.
only one theater in that Wichita.
Sports management, Sports management with a minor in psychology.
The Jackie Moon look, the sick look, headband, and the yeah. I thought that's something I think Andrew will get to look back on for quite a while. Big shots and big moments, and threw them. They weren't the lucky one in the butt too. They were high flush, and short of throwing a shot for yourself to win a major, throwing shots to win team stuff is probably the hardest and the closest thing you get to those moments. And there's a lot of adrenaline going on in there. Those were huge. He will be a scary cat on TV moving forward. He's already obviously won 2 majors already, so it's not like he struggles.
Not bad, yeah.
And we're going to look into having him on next week if we can catch him free and he can talk about who the real MVP is. The good and the great. Johnny Hustle himself.
Tropical Surge Master.
Looks like Stu in the red shirt has lost quite a bit of weight. Makes him look younger.
A good little diet from Thursday to Tuesday,
This episode brought to you by Ozempic.
All right.
I got to lie, it was nice to see the newer balls go down the lane. Well, the one thing about it, the Mark Roth pattern is a little bit more user friendly than some of the other ones. And because we bowl in that same pair enough, guys know exactly what they're walking into. You're not really guessing a lot about what you're going to do. Daniel says Andrew's making a heck of a comeback the last few years, probably win another singles title next year. I'm sure he's planned. Andrew asked Thomas Larson if he want to take the last shot when they went close to 300, said, no, you take it. And then Andrew made the worst shot of the PBA League season.
All right, let's relax there.
Nick threw it in the gutter.
It was a 2-8.
So it's just...
It was 2-8. A little fast.
Yeah, the 2-8 is not the worst shot. But, yeah, it was... That would have been an epic 300 to come in off the bench. Sub in off the bench for 300. Also, brutally hard to make that shot.
Yeah. You see how no one's asking if you're going to get drafted? It's because they know.
You what?
You see how no one's asking if you're going to get drafted next year? It's because they know you are.
I think they thought I retired already.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. You heard of this year's league format where you guys bowled all year together versus in the past? So teams are a lot more interested and competitive come playoff time this year. I think this format has a lot more potential. Doing it all year, you have a chance to build, another organic event at each site and to kind of build teams, especially if we get to the same venues year after year, it'd be a Wichita team and start moving those team names to where
Vegas teams have.
Yeah, well, the Vegas High Rollers team is there, but
yeah,
the Silver Lake, which is a little remote town in little sub area in California. Obviously, we're not going to bowl there, but that was back when Hardwick was around, and so. But yeah, it's. I think there's a lot of room for growth. I'd like to see a little longer format for even the league matches. Maybe it's a race to 5 for everything, instead of a race to 3. But time makes
tough.
some of that trickier. So all right. Is it difficult to maintain consistency on tour with all the new releases? Well, the consistency part is the execution. You control the parts you can control, and the balls you throw, you know, you get an idea of what they do off each other pretty quickly. And your core, if you really have a great core, the new balls take a little while to kind of get into play a lot of times.
Yeah.
So Nevin says he agreed. It gives more interest for TV. We certainly knew each other way better this year than we'd known each other in the past. So by the time you got on TV, you knew, hey, I know BJ's great at this, and he's also great at this. So we got to choose between those two and what pack he likes to do versus not like to do, that kind of thing. And so, what are you laughing about?
Nothing.
Oh, this is nonsense.
I was laughing at Tom's comment, but
what did I do to you?
I don't know if you should. Yeah.
JP, thanks for the super chat. Hey guys, is it ideal to have a slower push away and footwork at the beginning of your approach, build up speed with the feet towards the end?
You're asking me?
Sure, you get your.
I mean, I wouldn't run and then stop, so I recommend building it up and then nice, smooth footwork and push away and everything. Just don't.
In general, it's better to have quicker feet than swing. And yes, I'd much rather build up speed. You certainly don't want to decel at the end. There's a few people that get away with really being kind of monotone footwork wise all the way through, but it does make it trickier to vary your speeds when you do that. So if you watch almost all the best players, I'm talking 90+% are slower at the beginning than the end and build as they go. Okay, what we got? We'll be drafted first. He's good enough. Second, he's a lot of friends among the managers.
Friends.
I wouldn't go that far.
Friends.
I imagine acquaintances might be as strong as it gets. So it'd be epic if Ryan and Chris were drafted by the same team. That would be ideal.
Be cool, I guess.
For me. Maybe not for him, but it would be ideal for me.
Yeah.
Anyone for the Kingpins? Never know. Yep, I do always want longer formats. Well, actually, not as much now. It doesn't favor me. But yeah, for the spirit of actual competition, deciding who the best bowler is in any competition, I'm in favor of the format being longer than shorter. Actually, even if it doesn't favor me. So, how was the Lobster? Lobster in Maine is as good as it's going to be. That's we had a few lobster rolls while we were up there.
Oh.
Thoughts on our teams were picked by company affiliation. We've done that in the past with some of the made-for-TV stuff. Kind of had I think they might even call it Manufacturer's Cup. But since there's basically 3 now, it makes it a little trickier. How do you do it? Because Motive has one brand. Brunswick pays for 7 companies, and Storm pays for 3. So how do you split that up equally? Yeah, Storm gets 2, Brunswick gets 3, Motive gets 1. I'm asking. How do you make it really work? So, hope to see Ryan Bull and the Lucky Larson next year.
We'll see.
Been bowling for about 2 years and starting to understand how my ball's reacting. What's a good way to start messing with surface? I feel like there are changes I can make, but not ruin my ball. You've walked a lot of this mile in the last few years.
Yeah. Well, really, the most you want to hit your cleaner balls with, it's like 2,000 at most, I think. When it comes to the higher end stuff, you can hit them with, 1,000 or 500 if they really need it. But I mean, 1,000 at most, depends on your game, obviously. So
higher being the max side.
Yeah, like the max, the gym, the reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess going back, I agree. I think you can fine tune balls, but if you look at a 6-ball setup, I'll start with 500 on the slowest ball, go to 1,000, then 2,000, then maybe 4,000 or lane shine, or 2,000 polish, and then spare ball kind of thing. So yeah, the Six Flags had team bowling by companies. We've done it both ways by companies. Brunswick, basically, when Petraglia was manager, it was largely the Brunswick team only. And by doing that to himself, other managers would pick the best Brunswick players as they came through, and then he would pick whatever Brunswick players were left, which is one of the reasons why that team was struggled for a long time, because he wasn't taking the best players available. He was taking the best staffer that was left, but at the same time, other teams were taking the top of the staff as they were available. So it didn't really work out very well. Brian says we look that we both start slow and build up speed. First 2, about 3, until your left arm follows your right one back.
Yeah, then
It looks pretty close.
might have copied. Who knows?
Adam would like to see you and I on the Portland Lumberjack teams with Fa. Well, there's not
7
gonna be
people
7
wouldn't
guys
work.
on the same team, so not sure how that's going to work out. Prather, Troop, and Fa are going to get kept, so the rest of that has to get drafted. So, but yeah, I mean, I would love to be on the same team with Ryan, and obviously being on the home team would be pretty ideal.
It's pretty favorable.
Yeah. What 2 PBA bowlers are your favorite in the past and present?
Well, past, we got past Chris Barnes and present, present Chris Barnes. So, like, I know.
No.
Past.
Eliminate me from the conversation.
Big Tommy Jones, big Bill O'Neill fan. They're not in the past, but Parker Bone.
You knew them when you were young, though.
Yeah.
You've been at the house, and you've been
like 10, 15
sort of
years ago.
friends.
Unless you're talking older than that, but I didn't watch much bowling older than that. So present, Simon throws beyond sick, so he's one of my favorites. Prather's, I don't want to glaze too much, but he's Prather, throws it good.
Yeah, somebody asked which games you streamed on earlier.
I stream 2K mostly right now, and then Rainbow Six Siege is the other one. Gotcha. Oh my gosh, Mika too. I forgot about Mika. Can't forget about that. Dirty.
Does it count when you have to, that's certainly a past, right?
No, he's still present.
You beat up on him this year.
He's still him.
He didn't even know he was still him. It came out.
Yeah. He's like you. Mental.
I think I already put that up. So you saw him.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. What did you work on after back so you get your ball closer to your ankle? Well, it's not as close to my ankle as it used to be. Well, it's because I'm fatter or less limber. It's not, maybe it would have been that way anyway at 54. But core stuff, and then the stuff with my back, and then went to I have a torn labrum in my hip now, it's all related because it was weak. Doing a lot of band work now, but it's mostly way more yoga type things with stretching and like band flexibility. Running and stuff on that ends up being, I can bike, but running ends up being worse on my body than helpful at this stage. Knees and stuff don't really like it too much. Somebody else asked you up there in the chat about knee, how you can, the knee hurts after 4 or 5 games. I assumed another two-hander.
Oh, that was Cam, like one of the guys I play with. For him, I would just say
Okay.
drink more beer. That tends to be his go-to.
That's how you make your knee hurt?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. Well, then Couch is your role model.
Not couch, no. But if you're actually trying,
How do you make your knee hurt and still bowl really good all the time?
yeah,
There we go.
I'd start running, doing some stuff, stretching. Same thing. It's core. It's all core, back related, all connected. Come on, Dad, click through the comments. I don't have the power.
Yeah, no, I was have to read through them, and I got that eye appointment today, so I don't have the contact in the one. It's tricky to read them.
Yeah.
Sorry
Legal
about
blind.
that. Saying with the city theme is the best approach. I think I agree. The challenge is how do you build a fan base when the matches aren't really, but this year they were local. We had a match every place where we didn't have a major, we had local matches. And we had TV shows a lot of time at the majors with those matches, ideally with the hometown team or the closest one to
Ideally, every city has like a stadium setup kind of deal or place they can set up and have the teams play.
that. Yeah, the center's big enough. We have limited fields of 64, maybe 72 this year. But with titleists getting in. So that's really what they're trying to do. But, what we really need is we need the local fan bases to take on some of that Portland approach. Because if some other place can match the energy of Portland, then the TV show, the finals can move around. They're afraid to move them because they're afraid that it'll be dead. Who can do that? Can you energize your fan base? Because there's about, I don't know, 87.5% of the tour that would love to have Portland not be the favorite and be, them have to bowl somewhere on the road for that. But that environment's so awesome that I don't see it leaving, until someplace else comes close to matching that energy. So people were talking about Steel City, the event that was in at the Sands place, that was pretty good there.
Yeah,
as a possibility. So just starting, he's like 70. It's his fault. He's just starting.
He's like 70. Mika, you just gonna take that?
His back is for sure.
What tips do I give Dad? Am I allowed to say this? I guess Stu talks pretty frequently. Get out of your head! No, I'm kidding. He's just a mental head case, Nothing? You got nothing for that?
I just waiting for you to say something actual.
No, we're working on the float tricks. We're gotta get you a little further left, a little faster, bigger moves.
Halves and ones or not?
Halves and ones, not unless you're playing straight there, Haas. Got to go ahead and make the 5 and just throw it a little slower.
Best father-son duo in sports, right here, Barnes and Barnzy. Speaking of bad knees that strike a lot, rehab is en route. He's going to be a mess next year too, along with February.
Hey, no Doherty. Purple. No purple.
Tom Doherty will be out there next year.
Doherty's out there. That's
Best Barnes in the chat. There we go. I agree that Portland should be in Portland for at least a few more years, kind of like how the Super Bowl is in a prescribed venue each year. Yeah, I mean, apple didn't fall far from the tree there. Maybe this is the best Barnes.
Going to class or what?
Hopefully the house will keep doing pre-stepladder shows. Yeah, I like the pregame shows. I mean, at some point they'll get somebody that's good at it to do it for them, but
Andrew Anderson would recommend versatility drills for Chris. Wow.
He did.
Did he really?
In Hong Kong. Oh yeah.
We got. Wow, that's pretty bold for a guy who only throws it with one. All right.
This is like 2018.
Oh, this is pre. All right.
Yeah.
For him, babyface. Come on.
Yeah, pre-COVID, I think we were in Hong Kong. Yeah, we were in Hong Kong for the World Championships, and then did some other stuff. So yeah, that's been a little bit of a change too, though. I think there's as a player, I really don't mind noise. It's the random noises that catch you, and because in a normal league or even qualifying, there's so much pinfall and all this stuff going on that you don't ever hear somebody cough. You don't hear a pin drop. You don't hear, and it's the random noise that always gets you. And so that's why there's so many distractions on TV, because so many sounds that you never hear are, catch you like, what? Oh, it's a relatively normal noise. It's not a normal noise when you bowl. Yeah. And so, hey, Mom.
Hi, Grandma.
Yeah, Charlie drilling a ball.
Attaboy.
It takes a while when those things are made of wood. Someone you use. So here comes the advice. Take the thumb out.
Not with the way he throws with two hands. Keep it in.
Throwing a few. I haven't really worked on it.
Yeah.
I'd be better off just throwing it left-handed than I would be. Get there closer. Idea for future show: building a 3 to 6 ball arsenal for those that use 13 pounds or less. Cores are rather similar in specs and in those lower weights, whereas cover stock plays a more significant role in lane play. True. We could probably put something together for that. It is tougher to get them to move further apart. It's way closer to almost the urethane era when balls were still all light bulbs, the hammer weight block, there's 020 something, or pancakes. And that's kind of all there was. But we can do that and talk about how to manipulate those surfaces. Do I have one more Masters running? That is the one format with my skill set and advantages relative to where the guys are now. I mean, that's why you see me like on the league shows, I went to play straighter, because that's where my advantages are now with the group. I thought they were pretty easy right at 10 on the show, but very few people even looked, let alone.
They don't even try.
No. Well, you only got a couple of shots. I mean, you got a 15-minute practice session, which is
I watched well, they had a 2-hour practice session. They all started at 15.
On the other side.
Yeah, but.
Yeah. Well, the building is 2 sides. And the other side, the gutter doesn't hook, although it did in practice session this time. But yeah, I mean, the only way they look right at 10 is if they can throw urethane, and the extra volume kind of made urethane out of play this time. They did something a little different. They put a little head run on them, a little short, 8-9 mils in the front, and then ran normal pattern over the top of it. So it seemed to make urethane not look so good. That's the least amount we've ever seen on the right on the show. And to be honest, Packies looked great to hit the pocket, but it didn't look great to strike.
Yeah.
Even Yesper's wasn't awesome.
Yeah.
So even more better ones.
Talking about T-Roy.
So here's one for you. How do you compare the Ascent to other balls in your arsenal?
Well, I actually didn't. I wasn't a huge fan of mine because I drove mine I did a test layout basically, like 5.5. A little too weak for that cover, I think. But for everyone else, it seems to fit right in the middle. For most people, I don't know about you, Dad, but
yeah, it's more of a IQ type cover. So it's not as strong as some of the other ones. It's still got the low RG symmetrical look. I took the one I had and shined it and kind of moved it down because it is a little bit cleaner. My first one, I also drilled a little 5.5 and with surface on it. Then it was a little bit, it wasn't quite strong enough. And so I shined that one. I'm planning on drilling another one that's a little bit taller, stronger. And actually, I might drill it lower. Might drill like a low 4.5 and kind of a lead because it gets through the front a little easier and then let it blend off of it. where you don't have to separate quite so far. Because, I mean, the one thing that's happened with all the friction in the front, we have a lot of responsive balls, but sometimes they respond to that friction in the front. So that weaker cover, little cleaner cover might be useful in that. Bring back the crowds from the 1920 energy was crazy on the biggest difference. The energy is pretty close, really, but when they were on that higher side and the ceiling's 25 feet lower, you did feel like you were on top. It was hot. It was closed in. It was a lot of people in a small
I can't
space.
imagine.
Yeah, there's actually less people over on that side than there was on the shows we have now, but it looked like way more because you can only I think you can only get the third set of bleachers in before people's heads are on the ceiling. So, yeah, it's a little rough. Here's my buddy. No need to throw a lefty. We have enough on senior tour. I can't, but I got to keep up sometimes.
I ride.
What are your thoughts on one-handed guys currently on the PBA tour switching to two?
They're already out there. They probably shouldn't be switching.
That's the hard part, is when you're already really good, can you really be better throwing it with two? I've seen a couple guys. I've seen Tang. It looks pretty good. Throws pretty well. ZZ from Malaysia was one-handed, was a very good one-hander, a pretty good two-hander. It didn't translate to the success I think he hoped he had, but that being said, his rev rate was in the 350 to 375 range, I guess, and he felt like it wasn't enough to be competitive on the tour either. So it's tough. Greg Young looks pretty good. He's committed to it for a longer term. But that's a guy that didn't have success on tour, is looking for a different way to do it. Still young, still tall, still athletic. I think might be able to pull it off.
Yeah.
Any tips from traveling to USA for collegiate bowling? Going 25, 26 year and have no idea what I'm walking into. Well, there you go. You didn't have to travel overseas, but that's pretty much that's your story.
That just get to know the people you're going, or the people who are at the school you're going to. That's probably the best thing I have. It'll be a lot more fun if you have friends and people to hang out with outside of bowling, and then people you can talk to about bowling. College is a lot about spares. Really, the majority of spares and filling frames and having versatility to do different things when the lanes change. So, college is a lot of fun.
Yeah, you walked in. You did know a couple of players from the tour guy. You knew the tour guys.
I knew Wesley. Yeah,
guys are at school.
I didn't know any of the. I didn't really know any of the other guys, but luckily I got integrated pretty quick. I went to a dinner with some of the guys, and then kind of just went from there.
That's probably one of the best things you could do is if you get there, introduce yourself to guys. I mean, even if go to a dinner, do something. If you go ahead and take the invite and hang out a little bit and
play the game, the
social
social game.
Know you, but mostly ask about them and let them be the experts and tell you kind of how things are. Everybody likes to be the expert.
Everyone loves to be the expert.
No beef today, just two boys in a barn. Man, I hadn't heard the elementary school jokes for a while, but I switched
2020,
almost 3 years ago now.
It was right when I started bowling.
Yeah, the first year we only had 16, so it was kind of a mess.
Was it when you switched? Was it when Storm and them came together?
No, it was halfway. It was halfway through the senior season because I was still throwing both brands, so it might have been 4 years. Yeah, well, I didn't bowl 50, so it was 51. So 3 years ago, I was bowling okay. I didn't have a great season. It was okay, And so I went to see Mark Baker and did a little tune-up, and then I went to the plant in Utah and let Klumpkin and Hank and said, here's 16, here's a 15. I'm just going to throw balls. I'm going to take my opinion out of it for the first time ever. And you guys pick. And whatever you guys say, whichever weight you choose is the direction I'm going to go. Because I've been with the Fluxes and the Badgers and some of those balls because we were doing no inner cores. So that the RGs and differentials changed pretty significantly between the two. And because throwing global only, that was an easy way to get way more versatility within the line at the time. And so I'd been throwing back and forth a little bit, which wasn't as bad as I thought it was. But you see some guys now going back and forth with the urethane balls, throwing 16-pound urethane.
That's because it has twice the diff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little different ball, especially in, in the Mexico version. So what do you think about the reality polished? I saw a lot of guys do it.
Yeah.
Did it myself too. It was pretty good. I saw Simo for the first time using Ion Max that way.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it looked like it had promise. So I think that's, especially with as much early friction, it's one of the ways to make a ball that's very controllable and continuous and get it into play way more often. It's a really good option on League. Because getting shiny balls that control the wet dry is almost impossible.
My favorite thing to do. Take a big ball, shine it up, and throw it 100. Watch it blend out the cliff.
I've seen a bunch of ball reviews with 5 or 5.5. That's my stock drilling.
Those aren't. It's not tall. It's just longer pins.
Yeah, I mean mine are above. They're not crazy long, but the whole point of equipment, and it's talked about a lot. So I apologize for people repeating this to you. We're just trying to fit in what we don't do as well. So for me, I can make the ball pick up, even though my rev rate's not as high as say Ryan's is. His is he can get the ball down the lane, and so he's looking for ways to make it pick up in the right length. I'm looking to get it to stretch to that length. Someone's just growing up in a urethane era, I guess, where you had to make it hook, and so I have more grab, and so I use a lot of 5.5 inch pins. I'd rather use slower speed, especially at this age, than have to throw it really hard, and so I don't use a lot of strong pins. That's the short of it. I did catch a video somewhere. Was it on Facebook? Yeah, he was flossing.
Nolan.
He was a little looped up.
Woo!
He was partaking with the crowd on his off day there. So
it's right in.
Yeah, there's a few people who saw that. When you experience overrun the lanes with first transition, what ball and surface do you pick up? This is something we've talked about on the show a little bit, but I'm interested to hear Ryan's take on this. Because you were a professional league bowler for a little while.
I was professional league bowler. Well, I was also dialed for the North Rock house shot.
You were.
And
your take on that was?
Well, I liked to take a bigger, slower ball, and one that didn't want to change directions as much, so I could throw it at the friction a little bit and and one that picks up in the oil still, so I could play the oil, not really worry about it having to pick up or going too long or overreacting off the friction when I got it right.
Lot of angle, little angle.
Relatively little angle when I bowled well on the house shot. It was mostly going to 9, 10, and if it got to 8, it didn't know what it was going to do. So
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he dialed into that. Yeah, you had 1 million honor scores like your sophomore year in college.
Scam the system.
And then as you got better and you've really expanded your speed range, some of that top end speed has come back just a little bit.
Yeah, it's gotten a little.
That it's not a particularly useful tool on tour.
Nope.
Occasionally, but you're doing it because the lanes are hard, not because they're easy. To really jam it up 12 or whatever kind of thing. But Sue and I talked about this a lot. A lot of times you're just using your kind of medium to dry angular ball because they're walled when you start. And then once they get more clipped, is actually going and balling up and getting balls that are smoother. You know, maybe there's still a medium or dry control, but you're going from your angular one to your control. Pins that are down, maybe a little more surface, but basically balls that blend out the surface more. Like, so we're talking about more, you know, an ascent might be something I would do in the second game versus first game was something that I can kind of go around it with.
Yeah.
More. This focus might be a ball that blends a little bit. It appears the more we watch the idle pearl actually seems to blend the back end a little bit more than being super angular.
Yeah.
And so those are kind of balls that might play into that. Let's see. The hardest part phase in league for you guys. I think it's kind of the same thing we were just talking about, that transition between first and second game.
We might be talking about the PBA League, but I don't know.
I'm going to assume it's just league. You know, it's after game one, halfway through game two, when the cliff really, and then when guys move in, then it kind of blends back out again, and then they get pretty easy a lot of time for game three. You're just a dot or two left to where you started.
Yeah.
Any advantages of 15 over 16? The biggest advantage for me is checking in at the airport. It's under 50 pounds every time. I spent 20 years trying to pick the right counter agent that wasn't going to give me a hard time about it being 50.5, 51. Like, I like to travel with the vice bags because they survive the airports a lot better, but they're a little heavier. And so you're butting up against that 51 and no extra towels in there, no extra, take the thumbs out, everything to try and get it down. And then you hope that the fact that you have status on the airline, that they kind of give you a little, okay.
Yeah.
And now they have, you know, the more bags than 70 pounds on some of the airlines, but they didn't for a long time. That's the biggest advantage I see. I don't find it to be, it feels like it weighs as much now as 16 used to feel like it weighed, just because I'm not throwing 16 anymore. So. Has PBA decided to adapt the Weber Cup into the tour? No. The match room did. Yeah, they took the easy way out. It's just a lot easier to organize pool events where a local company would just bring pool tables in, set them up, level them for you, versus having to have somebody come in and build a lane. It takes a day or two.
And
they have some pretty good sponsors for the pool events over there. So we've really gone by the wayside. And we didn't even merit a return call. So
didn't make the return call.
Fun fact, of the first team that won the league, only Tommy is still bowling.
Wow, he's that old?
Be fair, I didn't see him last week. Is he still bowling?
Is he? I could be on that team.
The Strikers now?
Yeah.
Tommy was on the Kingpins originally.
Oh.
He was with the Kingpins with, man, this will be a stretch because it was the first one. Pete. I don't know if Liz was on that team. Rhino. No. Scott Norton.
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
Yeah. The very first one. So. Any idea if they can add 2 more teams to PBA League and have a team from PWA and a team from PBA 50? I think that'd be fun to watch. It's not what the league's for. This is about the best players, the best teams. We already added 2 teams in. They were both female teams. It's the PBA. It's not the PWBA. If we had too much money, if it was the NBA and we had, $50 million to go through with the WNBA, that would be fantastic.
Careful, Michael. We're getting them fired up here.
Now, and as much as it would be nice on the PBA 50 side to have a team, it's obvious that the younger generation is now, we were all better at 25 than at 55. It's just whether it's Tom, Norm, Hess, Norm, Parker, Walter, I think if you're still good enough, you can get in the league. And that means PWBA side too. Liz is bowled in the league. Kelly's bowled in the league. Danielle's bowled in the league. And they all bowled well in the league at different times. Parker, Walter, Pete, myself, Hess this year have all, and Norm obviously for 10 years after he was a PBA 50 guy was a huge part of the strikers being a great team. So I think when the best players join in, I think that adds. I don't mind the PWBA or 50 guys being eligible from that standpoint. Maybe the top 5 from each would be eligible. But again, if you're not a PBA member, I am not in any way a fan of you being in the PBA League. That would go for an amateur team. That would go for PWBA. Just so we're clear.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of college guys that would be a lot of fun to watch, but until they're PBA members, I just don't think it makes sense to take what limited amount of money that there is and get
All right.
So, where the key differences of polished versus compound and where a storm with compound, their step 2 replacement. Rough edge is that replacement for step 2. And all reports are it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I have not used step 2 yet, or rough edge yet. We have a ball review coming out pretty soon with smooth edge on it, which is the first time that's been done out of the factory. So check out that. Coming up in about a week, I believe. Maybe a week and a half. Maybe a week from Monday.
Yeah.
So, hey, Tony. Here you go, Ryan. What balls would you choose from those bigger, slower balls you mentioned?
The Max is one of them. For a while, it was a Nova. But I think the Harsh Reality Pearl is one of them that I use a lot. Even though it's a little response to it, but I used a different layout to make it a little slower. Jim. Oh, what else? I don't throw that many. Stick to my guns. So.
Daniel has some great comments. I like it. This is the original Kingpins. Pete, Norton, Jurek, Tommy, and Zerbinski. Spelled it wrong, don't care. Yeah, nobody can spell John's name. It's all right. SCZB, the alphabet. Yeah. True, though. Man, a really good team, too. 2 guys, Jurek and Zerbinski, were far better in a team. Like, they bowled like they looked, which was fantastic. But in a team thing, they bowled like they were the top 10 guys on tour.
Yeah.
And then Pete was still Pete because it was 12 years ago. And Tommy was prime Tommy. And then Norton. And the left was good on,
Are you saying Tommy's past his prime? I don't care.
Well,
he is.
I would take the 38-year-old version of myself, too. What's Tommy now, 51?
It's got to be 50-something.
I think he's like 43.
Yeah, he's like
that. I don't even know. I think he's 10 years younger than me. And then his other one is, having a college team in the league would be great. Same format. It just takes 3 times longer. Not wrong.
I got nothing for that.
What are the pins in the background? I don't even know.
There's a US Open pin. There's a USBC pin. I don't know what kind they are. There's a Super Bowl pin.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're just different colors because they were for show.
Yeah.
That's a fact. I've won some gold medals with John. John is one of the nicest guys with one of the best games. And, it just tour's a tough gig. And when you're battling everybody else all the time at a single site, it wears. It's just not for everyone. So Purple Hammer IQ 78 on house shot for 2-hander. Worth it or waste of time? As a combo or either or?
I would say neither. I'm not promoting it. Not promoting Urethane on the house shot.
I don't think it's necessary on the house shot. I think it becomes a crutch for people who have a hard time controlling their ball. But super rev dominant players a lot of times end up needing something like that controls their ball. It's kind of what's made Urethane such a resurgent play. Hello, guys. Just thinking, we wonder if the PBA League would be a PBA title for the 6 guys. It's a long grind. You'd think they reserve a title. I mean, they did it. We had a full team format once. They gave a title away. For what counts
They
as
drew
a
12
title
shots.
now?
Do you think they deserve a title?
Well, at least this time it's a full year.
Yeah. They threw 24.
Not over the whole year.
96.
Yeah, probably closer. I mean, there's stats online.
I don't know.
Strike Derby, what'd you think? First time you seen that?
Strike Derby was cool. Rapid fire bowling. Kind of cool to see. It was kind of funny that the left-handers didn't move their feet even though it kept going high.
Talking to you, Packy. I think that's one of the tough things. What it really does tell you is that people, how visual they are.
How much
Like
they
they
have to see.
go, hey, I just left the 247. I'm going to move 3 next time on that lane. Because they're throwing shots and they're not watching them, so they don't see what they do. And some players are obviously very much that way because they repeat the same mistake 2 or 3 or 4 times before they adjust. And other players, like one shot, they look up and they're like, oh, okay. And now those 2 lanes are different too. The Strike Derby challenge is
I can't imagine.
the lanes are
low on the right
somewhere
lane and then
3 and 6 different.
Yeah.
And going back and forth. Yeah, I mean, it always seems like, no, it's kind of a filler. It's not going to be that big a deal. And then it always ends up being entertaining. I'm going to tell you, you're going to want to watch this one. It was
fun to watch.
It was really good. There was a couple of dud matchups, but for the most part, there were some as much drama as you can create in a literal made-for-TV fun thing. It was pros, the crowd, everybody there was some, whoa. I thought there was a lot of wow moments, and Andrew Anderson had the biggest ones in the actual league himself. It's like, wow. Anybody who stood up and made that shot understands the adrenaline and all the things that going up to that. At home, it looks like it's pretty easy, but there's a lot of pressure throwing a shot like that for your team, for all the money,
for sure.
TV, great crowd, atmosphere, and the other team chanting lumberjacks while you're trying to throw it.
Yeah.
Which is the first time I ever heard the crowd actually cheer against the team that was on there.
Timmy Mack sighting.
Yeah. Sorry, I was over on the other side.
Yep.
There he is. Well, you couldn't throw it for him. And
guys bowled well. Bowled well.
No beef on the show. Just this. Well, one skinny guy. This he's off on the. We both
the bright colors make you look a little skinnier.
The fact that I keep it above.
Yeah.
Above the belly is what makes me look skinny. So. Yeah, like the Weber Cup. So. Yeah. The Weber Cup actually was pretty neutral mostly, too. One of the few times it wasn't neutral was when it was in Vegas. I mean, they cheer for the other side, but other than the one year we got in a little spat with back when Thomas Lee Anderson and Europeans are getting crushed, and so they tried to backdoor the lane man to change the pattern. Got Couch fired up. Actually, and Tommy, too.
I bet.
He had a group that called Mika the Moose, and so every time he struck, they'd give him the moose.
Yeah.
Couch finally beat him one time.
Yeah.
Lefty's worst nightmare, and he went boom, killed the moose.
Got him.
Yeah, got him. It's about the only
Yeah.
time I think he might have ever lost a match to a left-hander, but there's one there, and Couch shot the moose. After that, the crowd was definitely on Europe's side.
I bet.
Oh, oh yeah, just the one in the other room. So,
All right.
Timmy, the original captain, he's the captain of the Weber Cup. He basically made that thing, got the pros in there. One of the originators of the whole thing. Very cool event. Wish that event would come back. Too late for me, but it was fun. There's a lot of guys that cut their teeth and got a lot better on TV because they got to bowl in that Weber Cup. Bowling 10 or 15 matches on TV every year. No doubt it helps. Basically, Troop the first time he went there hadn't made a show yet, I don't think. Maybe one. And then he got comfortable, and then, man, it made a big difference. Kind of springboarded his whole career. So anyway, we've gone way, way over. I meant for this to be short since we got just us. But I got to go. You got to go. You got to start streaming.
Yeah, maybe I'll start to stream up.
There we go. Appreciate you guys. We're going to try and see if we can get Andrew on next week. And we'll see how that all plays out. But, hopefully that works out. Thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for
Any
having
last
me.
words?
Nope, I'm good.
No, really.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in.
All right, join us next Tuesday. And between now and then, please support the sponsors. Support us. Storm, Rotogrip, Global, Coolwick, Bowler's Mark, Fire League Bowling Center, Lightning Strikes, and Platinum Ford. Stay safe, stay healthy. One job. God bless.